The creatures known as fell beasts were the winged, pterodactyl-like creatures ridden by the Nazgul. In this video, I'll be looking at what we know of their origins, descriptions from the books, and their impact on the events in Middle-earth. Welcome to Ring Theory. Tolkien never actually named the creatures we know as fell beasts. They are referred to by characters in the story as fell, as in dreadful or terrible. It is actually the Lord of the Rings fandom that have adopted the term fell beasts in the absence of another name being given to them by Tolkien himself. My favourite other name for them are Hellhawks, a name they are referred to by Beregond of Gondor. This, in my opinion, is a name that far better encapsulates the terror that the beasts give off. The last name I'm aware of them being referred to is simply Nazgul Birds, as they are exclusively seen carrying the 9 Nazgul. This has sparked great debate by the Tolkien fandom. We know from the books that after the Nazgul's black horses are washed away in the Fellowship of the Ring, the 9 Nazgul return to Mordor and are given new mounts in the form of these fell beasts. This is the source of a lot of mystery and why it is such an interesting subject. Does this mean that there are only 9? Did Sauron create them almost at will? If so, that seems like a bit of a cheat code. Whilst trolls are said to be made in mockery of Ents and orcs made in mockery of elves, some would assume the beasts were made somehow in mockery of dragons. I would say that this is unlikely, in the main due to this passage in The Return of the King, the battle for Pelennor Fields. The great shadow descended like a falling cloud, and behold, it was a winged creature. If bird, it was greater than all other birds, and it was naked, and neither quill nor feather did it bear, and its vast pinions were as webs of hide between horned fingers, and it stank. A creature of an older world, maybe it was, whose kind, lingering in forgotten mountains, cold beneath the moon, outstayed their day, and in hideous eyrie bred this last untimely brood, apt to eagle. And the Dark Lord took it, and nursed it with fell meats, until it grew beyond the measure of all other things that fly, and he gave it to his servant to be his steed. Down it came, and then, folding its fingered webs, it gave a croaking cry, and settled upon the body of Snowmane, digging in its claws, stooping its long, naked neck. The two key quotes here I want to focus on are "a creature from an older world, maybe it was," and "the Dark Lord took it, and nursed it with fell meats, until it grew beyond the measure of all things in the sky." Of course, as always with Tolkien, this is open to interpretation. My interpretation is that a much smaller fell beast type creature must have existed in an ancient world. Sauron has essentially captured some and bred them, fattening them up over several generations, no doubt using dark magic, manipulating them until he was satisfied they were ready for use, choosing to release them as the new mounts of the Nazgul in the Third Age after their horses were washed away. It does bode the question whether Sauron had captured any other ancient creatures and wasn't just yet ready to release them. In terms of their impact on the story, the fell beasts we know give off a foul stench and regularly cause terror flying overhead. Firstly, we see them in the Fellowship of the Ring. After the Fellowship have left Lothlorien, Legolas sees one flying overhead and actually shoots it down. We don't know if it died or what came of it, or even if it was bearing a Nazgul. Again, we see them flying over Frodo, Sam and Gollum in the Dead Marshes, and they attack Faramir's retreat from Osgiliath until they are drove away by Gandalf the White's shining light. Unfortunately for this species, they'll mainly be remembered for one of their number being defeated by Éowyn outside Minas Tirith in the battle for Pelennor Fields. The fell beast of the Witch King did manage to mortally wound Theoden King, but the victory was short-lived. Éowyn shed her disguise as Dernhelm and decapitated the beast, going on to defeat the Witch King with the timely help of Meriadoc. They are last seen at the Battle of the Black Gate, where Gwaihir and the Great Eagles engage in winged combat with them above the skirmish below. After their Nazgul riders sense Frodo putting on the ring in the Cracks of Doom, they are called back, but do not make it in time and are overcome in the flames of Mount Doom's eruption. That concludes the story of these fell beasts. It is implied, with fell being in their name, that they are evil to their very core. But were they evil before Sauron got hold of their ancestor? Did Sauron make a mistake in seemingly only unleashing them on Middle-earth to do his bidding for what was an incredibly short period of time? Just to take that last point a little further, when you consider an apparent first sighting of a fell beast was recorded on the 23rd of February in the Third Age, when Legolas shot one down, and the ring was actually destroyed, taking the fell beast with it on the 25th of March in the Third Age, that means that Sauron has waited all this time to unleash these creatures for a grand total of 1 month on Middle-earth. I don't know exactly what point I'm making here. I guess he must have had plans for them in the future and really didn't see himself being defeated as a possibility. It's definitely a fun little rabbit hole to go down. Let me know if that information surprised you in the comments below, and of course tell me what you think of the video. Thanks for watching Ring Theory. On this channel I'll be covering anything and everything to do with the Lord of the Rings. If you like what you hear, please remember to like the video and subscribe.